I don't know, I think it's up, I can't tell. All I get here is network error, network error. It's back, is it? Sorry about that. Transferring from room to room, trying to carry all the cables with me wasn't such a good idea. Live again. That was a bit of a mess trying to move around room to room to room. Okay, I've left all the crap out there in the middle of the shop, so there's no way I can do the normal thing here, like streaming here now until the shop opens. Maybe I should have just called it a day there, but let's do a bit more real work here. So, carrying in groceries. So, anyway, here we are. Am I live? Have we got this? We've got huge video delay. I don't know, whatever. Testing, testing, 1, 2. It looks all right. Okay. All right, let me just do whatever, 10, 15, 20 minutes of work here just to do a bit more carving on this. And then I've got to get out the shop and clean up the mess I made. I think my mic's in. Should move it a bit away from my face, I think. Right. I'm back to where we left off last night. I had just finished the key carving on the owl block. I'd done a bit of hammer work to clear off the bulk of the outside unneeded area. What we've got to do at this point next is, we talked about the 3 stages of clearing, stage of cutting a block. Stage 1 is cutting with a knife. Step 2 is the wide clearing, get rid of all the junk out of the way. And step 3 is the last stage, getting rid of all the bumps and roughness on the non-printing area, and then using the bullnose chisels to go around in the area between the two. So let's have a go at this here. The camera is really close. It's on its little small tripod. This isn't the normal setup because of what I was fooling around with just a few minutes ago. So the camera's on a tripod that's on the bench here. So if I bang, it's going to bang the camera. I'm sorry. It's a bit of a special setup today, so please just bear with me. One day, sometime in the wonderfully bright and wonderful future, there will be a camera crew here. You know, I'll just be the guy who, they'll call me Mr. Bull, ready for you, stage 1, whatever. We'll have a room for it, I guess. I don't know. The kids will do the camera work. I get everything set. I'll just prepare what I want to talk about. Will that ever get to that stage? I don't know. I sure hope so. Boy, that would be fun, you know. It's not that I don't like fooling around with the geeky stuff, you know, the editing and the cameras and all that stuff. I do like it. But common sense is common sense. And to make better videos, I should just, you know, my job is the content. And having other people do that part of it would be really the common sense, you know. Is this shaking just too much? I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't tell. I can't see it. So. It's probably shaking too much, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, whatever. You're welcome to stay or you're welcome to leave. Whatever. I've got to get a bit of this done. So. I should also, while I remember, I should talk about the schedule. I know today is Saturday here in Tokyo, and I would normally be here tomorrow. But Sunday, 2 weeks ago, I took a day off. I had to do a kids printmaking workshop down in Yokohama. And it's a 2-month-long event running in Yokohama. They've got work by a bunch of different artists on display. And they've mixed my work in there as well. So I've got a bunch of my prints from 25 years are on display at that thing. And each of the artists in turn has to do a gallery talk, and tomorrow is my turn. So I'll be doing 2 gallery talks in Yokohama, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And it's a long way away from here. There's no way I can get out there and do that and come back to the shop. So there'll be no stream. Look at this messy edge of this piece of wood. Don't look. Close your eyes. So there'll be no stream tomorrow, Sunday, Tokyo time. The intention is to be back, normal schedule, Tokyo Monday. And then Tuesday I'll be out of here again for the usual day off. And as far as I can see the schedule through the week, it should be normal. The various jobs on tap are this owl block. Once the key block's finished, which will probably be tonight, then it'll be the color blocks. There's 4 of those. Once those color blocks are done, I'll be doing a test proofing of this image myself, which of course will stream, I think, or stream at least part of it. It might take more than the normal time. And the blocks then go out to our printing staff, and I move on to the next job. And the next job will either be back on the octopus, carving that, or if the New Year's card design has come through from Jed by that point, I'll be doing the New Year's design, carving on the New Year's print. And it's something a little bit different. Jed is very much interested in exploring new kinds of drawing. It's not that he's bored with what we're doing. I mean, he's terrified recently by the ukiyo-e heroes, the boss fights things. Is really a challenge for him. It's still not 100% successful, but it's a challenge for him. That was the idea, to push both him and our workshop into a different place. But over and above that, he and I are thinking about what to do for future years. We're looking quite a ways into the future about some different kind of work, and some different kinds of woodblock prints, some stuff that quite hasn't been made before. So we're doing some experiments. And this year's New Year's design is, I think, going to be one such experiment. Just a little test to see if it's possible and practical to make a kind of image that we have in mind. Because of the strange setup today, I don't have the chat part in front of me at all. The multiple window thing is a bit borked right now. So I don't have any idea what you guys are talking about. I'm sorry. If anybody's still there, I don't know. So I'm not able to follow what's happening at all. I'll just do this for a bit longer. If you heard the thing I was talking about in the YouTube video, I was mentioning the new staff, the Patreon plan thing, it's working very well. It hasn't gone exactly the same way that we thought about it. I think when I first proposed it a few months ago, I said we need a manager. And the idea for that funding would be to get a manager. And we've done that, so just hang on a minute. It's not that we changed the rules, but the young man that we identified to be able to do that job for us wasn't available. This is, going back 3 or 4 months. When did we do this? That was in June? I forget. We found a guy, but he still had a job that he was tied to because of visa restrictions. So I was stuck. Do I dump him and try and find somebody else? Because I really needed to get going on that back then, June, July, and August. What I decided to do was do it. Go with him. Go with the original plan. Go with him as a manager, even though he couldn't start till October. But rather than stay in my current state of chaos that was on back there, we jumped ahead to part 2 of the plan. We would get a manager, and we would also get more shop staff, because we know we need to train more shop staff for the future, if not even just for right now. So we hung a sign on the door outside. This is back in, I forget, June, July, whatever, with the idea to pick up a couple of people who would like to do part-time work for us, who spoke English, who weren't afraid to speak to foreigners, and who lived nearby, so we wouldn't be paying large community expenses, and who would thus be able to work, say, 1 day a week, or 2 days a week, or 3 days a week. Anyway, we've got 3 such people now training with us. You've seen some of them: Matsumura-san, Hosono-san, Chihiro-san, the young lady, and then a new one, Audrey, the young lady from France. So actually there's 4 new people around here now, all because of the Patreon campaign. 3 of them part-timers training here, and 1, the young man who's going to be the / manager. And he starts officially October 1st, which is that tomorrow? He starts October 1st as far as becoming a staff member, but he won't be here because he's still got to clean up an obligation from his previous job, and he'll be coming around here, I think, on the 5th or 6th. Chubby cheeks and ready to start training and learn what's going on. And for the first month, he won't have a clue, of course, and there's an interesting dynamic that's going to happen. He's going to want to come in and do things, which is, of course, why we're hiring him. But we have a what's the word? This is a kind of a special place, we're a business, but we're not a business. We have a kind of an ethic here, this kind of stuff we would do that might not make sense to a manager, He'll look at those 10 prints and say, why don't you sell them? And we'll say, well, no, I'm sorry, it's not good enough because there's too much misregistration. And perhaps he's the kind of guy that will say, look, it's okay, they're not going to notice. And if he does, then we have to have a talk, because what's important to us and what's important to pure business things are 2 different things. Of course, he already knows who we are and what we're doing to a basic extent. So I don't expect severe conflicts. But I'm going to ask him at first, the first month, I'm going to say, I'm not going to ask you to actually do anything except follow me around, follow those people around, just sit and watch, make some notes if you like, just sit and drink and relax, and ask questions and learn who we are. Imagine that you're a documentary filmmaker and you're trying to dig and find the hidden story here. Let's do that for a month. And then we'll sit down and talk about what you want to do here, what I need you to do, and how we're going to move forward. We'll see. Are we still online? I should check now and then to make sure. Network error, stream closed half an hour ago. Francis is there today. Good. Joe, you can talk with Francis about print stuff. Thank you. Good. I should just keep quiet more then, instead of just rambling about nothing. It's so bright too. I think I can't change that camera, Crunch, crunch, crunch. I spent so much time in the past couple of weeks using that bloody microscope. It feels a bit strange to be using nothing here today. Unusual. It's not so good to use that thing every day. You forget your perspective or where you are. I suppose eventually they'll get to the point where I can't function without it, but brittle piece of wood in this corner. I have to be careful. Look at how you can feel it. It's like a rock. You hear the sound change as I come around. This is with the grain here, fairly smooth. Then more and more as I go round, 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 get towards the cross grain, the crunchiness. The blade behaves more and more like a plane. Now, this is a chisel here. I'm just sliding it along. I could actually do it with one hand, whatever. It wouldn't make any difference. I can't control it, but I mean, I could cut with one hand. Come around across the grain here. I can't. I'm pressing down. This finger is pushing the blade down into the wood. And it's just like a plane does when you move a plane. When you're planing wood, there's lots of downward pressure. That's what gives you your fine shaving. That's what I'm doing here. This finger is not just supporting and stopping from sliding. This finger is pushing down. I've turned that chisel into a plane blade. Looking forward to some breakfast here soon. It was a bit of a rush this morning trying to get all that stuff ready. Last night was late, so this morning ends up cascading late, sleeping a bit, no breakfast. Now I've got to get the stuff ready for tomorrow's gallery talk. It's a gallery talk, but they want a printing demonstration as well, so I've got to take blocks, pigments, colors, paint, the whole thing out there. I shouldn't sound, I don't know, beaten down. It's going to be fun. People are always interested. But printing at my own bench is one thing, but printing out in the middle of a gallery somewhere else is a ton of preparation to do. Moistening the paper in advance, all the pigments, mixing them fresh, because you can't carry a pot of pigment, of course, you know. We'll see. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Against the grain, both ways against the grain. Look at this, doesn't want to go either way. So just slice. Sliver by sliver. Which way's the grain here? This is the wrong way, name. Okay, we'll do a few more minutes here, and we're going to cut this about 9 o'clock, I think. I know the mess I left in the shop there. Those of you who have joined this stream late might be, you know, well, like, what's going on? The camera's a bit different, the stuff's a bit different, I'm not watching the chat. Today's Twitch stream has been a bit of an experiment. The first 15 or 20 minutes were something different. I just had some other work that had to interfere, so I kept the Twitch camera running while I was doing it, rather than explain it here. Latecomers to this stream now, if you want to figure out what happened, once I'm offline, go back and look at the, I don't know what it's called, the online video, the on-demand video, I don't know, sorry. And then to reiterate the schedule again for viewers, today is Saturday morning. There should be a normal stream here tonight at this bench, just continuing exactly what you see me doing now. That'll be this evening. If I finish it up, I'll start one of the color blocks. Or I'll be doing test printing of this. Maybe that comes first, actually. Test printing of this to have a look at how the lines are done. Whatever, that's tonight's job. Tomorrow, Sunday, there will be unfortunately no stream tomorrow because I have to give 2 gallery talks in Yokohama. Monday will then be a normal day as far as I can see it at this point. And Tuesday will then be a normal day, which means it's off. I won't be here. I'll be either in the Ome workshop or just simply doing other work away from. Monday's payday too. That's going to take up a bunch of time. Bit of a wider chisel, I think. There's still one corner of the owl I haven't carved yet. I have to get the scope back up. Where to? Nearly chipped off a feather there. I thought it was a dot. Okay, I think we'll do it here. And I've got to clean up that room, get some breakfast, get to the bathroom. Bunch of stuff to do. The shop opens at 9:30. It's crazy busy today. Reservations. A group of 5, which means I'll have to be doing it this afternoon because Kawai-san's good at this, but once it gets to be more than 3 or 4 into 5 people, he loses control a bit. And this is not to insult him. He's a very good boy, but part of the job of running a print party, he's probably listening to this in the coffee shop. Part of running a print party is you've got to be a conductor in the musical sense. Absolutely, you're a conductor. You're, of course, telling people what to do, how you hold the paper here, do this, do that, but you also must be totally in control of how it's going in terms of tempo and mood and feel. And the people there have come into the room, and actually there's an interesting dynamic at play when, how do I explain this? You can tell people what to do, and they do it instantly without any hesitation. You know, when people have come into a workshop like this, there's a general, I'm having trouble explaining this. Who's the boss, who's the person directing it, and who's the person following is all very clear. You're into this workshop, you're a student, someone's at the front that says, "Good afternoon, let's get started." So without hesitation, you accept and you do what he says. You know, within reason or something, of course. And people do this. We all do this together, you know. If somebody says, "Hey, stop, please," we stop right away. It's sort of, there's a leader thing built into our DNA where we accept leadership under whatever circumstances it is. Anyway, I'm trying to explain that the person running the print party has to understand this and realize that the host of our print party is completely in control as a conductor. Not in an evil sense, but it's your job as the conductor to pace this, to time this, to make the mood, to keep them happy, to keep an eye on what's going on if somebody's not quite getting it or someone's not quite having a good time. You've got to see this and catch it and pick up on it. You've always got to be watching the clock, because with a print party for 5 people, if it starts at 10, by 10:25 you have got to be coming to the end of that 3rd color. And if you're not there, and there's another group coming at 11:30, you are going to be in trouble. And I'm good at this, and Kawai-san is reasonably good at it, but he's not. Once it gets to be 5 people, he starts to lose the plot. Because it's really tough to control 5 people, you know, so. But okay, they're coming on. They're all coming very well. I'm not sure all of our current print party trainees are going to be able to handle it all. But it doesn't matter. we need a boss for each party and we need an assistant for each party. The people who can't learn to control this and to handle the stream, then that's fine. They'll end up being the assistants. That's cool. So people will rise to their level of competence, I think. We'll see. Real brittle wood in this corner, really difficult. This is all going to be distressed later. Once I've done a test printing, we come in here and distress these lines to make it look like old-fashioned brush strokes. Okay, last step, get this corner out, and then I am out of here for breakfast. And I have no idea what's happened in the chat. We'll have to pick it up later. Next year when I get time or something, I don't know. Okay, there we go. Enough. There's our little owl coming along very well. Thank you for your patience today in a very, very mixed up, scrambled chat, a scrambled broadcast. It's going to be closing a bit short, but I don't know. I'm done. Let's do this. This evening there'll be another version. Tomorrow, no chats, no streams. I'll be in Yokohama. Thanks very much for coming along today. It's been really scrambled, but I know. I know the YouTube. If all the editing works well during the day, if I've got time to do this, the YouTube I made this morning while you were watching will be going up on YouTube tonight, just before the end of the month, and you can catch yourself there. Thanks again. See you next time.